Next up on the Cosmic News Network, First Contact with Joshua Pert.
Good morning, Earthlings. Good. How you doing today? Good. How you doing today? Welcome to First Contact Radio. Welcome to First Contact Radio. To talk about all these things I'm talking about is because in life, everything is energy. Every single thing that's out there.
Yo, it's First Contact with Joshua Poet. He's the man on the mic, just in case you didn't know it. Covering news from all around the globe, from the weather and space to UFOs. He'll talk politics and make you open your eyes. Conspiracy theories and government lies. They'll dig it all up and try to find the proof. Cause it's time to demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio. We have
time to demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio. We have arrived.
It's time.
First Contact Radio.
It's time to demand
First
the
Contact
truth.
Radio. We have arrived. Good morning, Earthlings. How you doing today? Welcome to First Contact Radio. Today is the beginning of a new month, October 1st. Sun sign is in Libra. Moon sign is in Capricorn. So we have an air sign and we have an earth sign. The outside conscious mind is air. Air is words and actions, the things we say and do. The unconscious mind is earth. The physical body, the physical world, the things that we do that practically, the practical things that we do to bring energy down into manifestation as something physical. In other words, taking the fire, the water, the air. However, the important thing to remember with Capricorn is that the physical world is not the be-all, end-all. It is only one part of what is going on, so we don't want to get caught up in the illusion of what is going on. So I would say that Capricorn, just think about this. Capricorn is the tarot card of the devil, represents illusion. So when we're dealing with times where the subconscious mind, the unconscious mind, or even the conscious mind is dealing with Capricorn, we're dealing with the possibility of illusionary things. So the subconscious mind is dealing with these ideas of the illusion of the physical world. And so what we need to do is we need to step back. We need to look at what is this physical world that we're involved with, personally and collectively, and then try to understand a little bit more about what is real and what is the illusion. Because there's a lot of illusions going on. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. I just want to keep moving on here. Some of the aspects for today. Moving forward, we have coming up within the hour, we have a nice aspect between Capricorn and the sign here, which is Neptune. Looks like a little trident here. So the Neptune, the trident says we have to look at things from a new perspective. The tarot card that represents Neptune is the card of the Hangman, hanging upside down to look at things differently, flipping the consciousness in another direction. Okay, so it's very important that we do that, especially when it comes with Capricorn, because Capricorn is the physical world. We can very easily get caught up in the physical world and believe that what's going on in the physical world is real. But this here says it's not real. Take a new look. Remember, Capricorn, Hebrew letter Ayin, I, teaches us we need to look past illusion. So we're reminded of that this morning. This afternoon, the sun sign Libra and the moon sign Capricorn are going to be in a square with each other. So Libra, which wants to do this karmic balance, deals with air, is going to be learning a lesson dealing with the earth, the physical world. And so the things that we say and do, air-wise, the words and the actions, are going to come up against the physical world. And how are we going to deal with that? Well, that's the lesson we're going to have to deal with. Part of it is we have to learn to look through that illusion whenever we're dealing with the Capricorn energy, because it's real easy to get caught up in the physical world about, with the issues of Capricorn. It's very easy since we're here, but we have to remember we're spiritual beings living and having a physical experience. Therefore, the physical experience is only one part of our experience. The spiritual part is very important. Capricorn speaks to the physical. We have to remember it's not all that. So that's coming up later. And then as we get into the evening, Pluto jumps into the picture where it is right next to Capricorn conjunction. And so they're both together. And when they're together, they're they can work real well together. The idea of the physical world and the transformation might decide to go hand in hand to that next phase. So that's a good thing. So interesting day ahead. Remember, Capricorn, we have to look through the illusions of what we see for today. The numerology for today is the number 9. Here's how we arrive at that. 1 plus 0 plus 1 plus 2 plus 0 plus 1, 4. Add them all together, and you have a 9. Okay, so 9 is our number. 9 is the number of the hermit. We've seen the number many times. It's the last single number before it becomes a double number. So when you look at the numerology, just look in terms of some of the basic things. When you go from a single number to a double number, you know that you've gone to the next level. Something has occurred that has allowed you to move to that next phase, because now we're starting the counting over again, this time with a 1 and a 0. And then it progresses from there, and then when it gets to the 20, it progresses another level. So life is continually moving to these next levels. So the 9 tells us we've come to the end of a cycle, getting ready to go. So we have to kind of get everything in order, reevaluate where we've been, prepare for this next phase, and then shine our lantern high for others to see with what we have learned. Tree of Life, our number 9, is right here. We've seen this many times. We've got the Libra right here, and then the Capricorn right down here. So Capricorn has an aspect of it, it's in the mind, and that's where the pridefulness and the illusion comes, because our mind gets tricked by things, or has the ability to get tricked. And so when we get caught up in just seeing things from the mind, that's what happens. So we have to go back to the heart. Here, Libra says we don't want to be fighting war, we won't want to be angry, we want to come back to the heart where things are beauty. And the Hermit, of course, is coming from the place of mercy. You don't want to be so humble, but you want to come back to the place of balance where you understand the place of this humility. It's one thing to be humble, but to be walked upon and feel like you're not worthy, it's a whole nother story. So we want to balance that out. And right in the middle of the Tree of Life, this pillar of equilibrium is where we want to be. All right, highlights of the tarot. Which one do we want to look at today? Let's take a look at the. Let's take our sun sign. I know we're seeing these over and over and over again. So we'll just do a brief here. Okay, we've got key that's right in the middle of the tarot. So we have the first 10, and then the last from 12 through 21 are all connected, because the first 10 represent an action that works through the 11, and then it represents the manifestation of those actions. This is a card all about balance, karma. The key is the center of the tarot pack. It stands for equilibrium, balance, etc., symbolized by the title and the scales. These also symbolize the Hindu doctrine of karma, which literally means action or work. It manifests itself in the form of a law of undeviating justice. This doctrine is expressed in the Judeo-Christian dictum, as a man soweth, so shall he also reap. In physics, it is stated that every action has an equal and opposite reaction. It is the entire appearance of cause and effect. The two curtains, suggesting duality, represent balance in their symmetrical arrangement. The throne repeats the pillar and the veil symbolism of key 2. Key 2 is the high priestess, so we have the same idea in there, the same background. The circle and the square in front of the crown refers to the movement of spirit within material forms. The sword represents discrimination, which is closely allied with the idea of justice. And remember, discrimination and the sword we have with the card of the Lovers. Key 11 is the agency through which all of the forces of 1 through 10 are transferred into the manifesting powers of 12 through 21. The cryptic statement deserves a great deal of thought upon your part. You'll be well rewarded. So again, key 11 is the agency through which the forces of 1 through 10 are transferred to the manifesting powers, represented keys 12 through 21. So if we look at this, there's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, all of these that I just showed you, they manifest themselves, they work through here, and they manifest themselves through the various ways of the other cards here. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay? So we could see it's like this chunk here manifests through here, and then we see this chunk here. Alright, let's move on to our moon phase. It's the first quarter. So we're 48% of the way there to the full moon. The first quarter moon today takes place at exactly 3:33 Eastern Daylight Time. The moon shines above the Sagittarius teapot in the south at nightfall. Alright, and the Mayan Oracle today is an 11-tone day. 11 tones are about dissolving the energy. Remember, it's like putting salt or sugar in water. Water becomes sweet because the salt or the sugar dissolves, so the water becomes salty or sweet, either one. I like to think of it on another level of the Obi-Wan Kenobi, when he was having that battle with Darth Vader, and he said, if you strike me down, I'll become even more powerful than ever before. That's exactly what happened. His essence was dissolved into the world, into the Force, and as such, he became more powerful. Luke could now hear his words without him being there. So, lots of things come from the dissolving. We see that the warrior is all about asking questions. We don't want to go fight with our physical body, with our fists. We want to use our mind, ask questions, use our intelligence, avoid fighting. 11, warrior guided by the warrior. Wave spell of the world bridger. Here's our position. The phrase for today is I dissolve in order to question, releasing fearlessness. I seal the output of intelligence with the spectral tone of liberation. I am guided by my own power doubled. Space weather. Solar wind 363.6 kilometers per second. Planetary K-index is between a 2 and a 4. It was pretty solid 4 over the course of the evening. You do see a number of holes that are here, some facing us, some not, some starting to face us. M-class flare possibilities dropped down. It was 75, now we're down to 55. X-class is back down to 10. And geomagnetic storm activity in the mid-latitudes, we're at 20, 25 in the high latitudes, and it appears that all of this is decreasing as we go. And today is a new day. Today's the 7th Tishri. It's the 1st of October. We'll take a look at what this is all about here. Let's take a look at this now, the daily thought. At the peaks of life, you can catch a glimmer of the light of your soul. When you hit rock bottom, you can touch its very core. Very good, very good. And just as a little notice of what's coming up, we could see right here. And here we have Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement. Very holy day in the Jewish calendar that's coming up. It begins Friday evening and it goes through Saturday evening. Okay? So, just giving you advance notice. Tomorrow I'll talk a little bit more about Yom Kippur so you can take whatever steps you need to prepare yourself for that. And that, my friends, gets us started for today. Let's jump over to UFO news. Here we go.
This is the UFO News with Joshua Poet.
Alrighty, Dirk, thank you very much. Today's story, the first one, comes to us from Hong Kong. There was a series of protests, and we had a visitor who came to check out and see what was going on. What are all these people doing down there, they're wondering. UFOs have been seen and recorded around the world over protest areas. This UFO is round and moving from the sky downward towards the protesters. At the end of the video, we see the UFO shoot upwards and disappear. Upwards and disappear. Although it is unidentified, it could be news or government drone recording the protesters' activities. Hard to say 100% unless we get a better video out of Hong Kong, but it does look to me to be far away, a very large craft. Okay, it's 152 here. There it is right there. So here it is in the midst of all of the protests. And there's a lot of people out there, aren't there? Alright, let's move on from Hong Kong to Mars. There's an object. What does that look like right there? Looks like a frog, doesn't it? I know what you're asking. What is a frog doing up on Mars? Well, this looks like a petrified frog. Frog statue found by Mars Curiosity Rover. They're finding a lot of things with the Mars Curiosity Rover. Looking at the YouTube channel, Jason Hunter, I noticed he is correct in his assumption of saying it looks like a frog. It does, however. Probably not a live frog unless you can sit there overnight where the wind erases footprints. Is it true that many animals, including frogs, have adapted to look like their environment? So yes, it's possible it is a living creature holding still. However, I do believe it's an ancient sculpture that has been pitted by the wind and sand. Its two eyes are visible, as well as a long mouth. Its front leg and back are easily to make out. There have been many discoveries and many creatures and ancient runes. All the past evidence from thousands of Mars discoveries endorse the fact that this one little frog could be something extraordinary. Okay, remember we saw ones of rat, what looked like a rat, and I think a rabbit as well. Very interesting. Alright, let's go over to West Virginia here. We have a report from a couple having seen a triangle-shaped UFO moving low over West Virginia on the 25th, 8:40 p.m. The sighting was filed with the MUFON database. The witness from Elkins were traveling south on Beverly Pike when two bright orange lights came into their view, hovering very low in the sky. According to the report, the right light was higher than the one on the left, making them assume that the object has just changed direction. When the witness managed to get closer to the mysterious lights, another white light was observed in the front of the first two lights, thus making a triangular formation. The couple described the orange lights as hourglass-shaped object. They both said that the nighttime sky was clear with no clouds to affect their view of the mysterious aerial activity. The witnesses are convinced that they were not the only ones who witnessed the lights on that night. However, at least one other witness has yet to come forward to make the same claim of this sighting. They describe the area as heavily populated with many businesses. The object reportedly traveled directly over major shopping centers and several residences. The witness claimed further that they stopped over at a Ford dealership to see the object passing slow at very low altitude. The report said the UFO was flying as if it was a plane about to land, but the UFO did not fly away or move. It just disappeared without a trace. According to the witness, the triangular object passed over them, then disappeared as if it were using a cloaking technology. After the disappearance, all they could see were the stars. Over Los Angeles, we have a reporting that came in that goes back to the 22nd of June. Multiple sightings were witnessed throughout the day by numerous attendees at the park. The first sighting started with a sizable orb hovering over Park Plaza Hotel. Fans scrambled to capture the UFO as it slowly hovered over the roof. Upon review, I noticed the UFO was emitting a beam of light. The second UFO sighting involved two orbs flying in synchronization over the crowd. The first was large and plasma-like, while the second orb was smaller and flashing repeatedly. As I kept filming the pair of orbs, a large orb suddenly ejected two smaller spheres. The spheres then floated downward, eventually landing in a triangular formation. Amazingly, these UFOs held this formation for a few minutes while flying steadily over the park. Everyone was excited about the UFOs. Alright, so this is from the 22nd. But what I'm going to say is this. We've seen Robert Bingham's stuff before. He's considered a UFO summoner. There are those who say that his sightings are real, and there are those who say his sightings are fake. It's my job to simply bring to you the information so you can decide for yourself. Okay, there he is, Robert. He's doing his summoning process here. Okay, so the video itself is 10 minutes long. I'll leave that to you, but check it out. See what you think. Do you think this guy's for real? I know there's a number out there who say he's not. It's hard to tell these days, you know. We have so many people faking things out there in the world that it's really hard to tell. That's part of the challenge with this day and age and the technology. We'll talk about more in a minute about the technology and how people are fooled. Very fast UFO filmed over Siberia, 27th. This unidentified object was seen by many witnesses above the cities of Helsinki, Novokuznetsk, and Kemerovo in central Russia. TV network RT reports this could be a meteor, but is it something else? All right, there it is right there. See it again. Is this a meteor? Or are they just saying that because they don't like to admit that's UFOs? All right, here's a story asking question: what do Google, snakes, and UFOs have in common? Moriarty Airport is located 35 miles east of Albuquerque at an altitude of 6,199 feet above sea level. Norm Bishop has lived near the Moriarty Airport for 23 years, and he's never seen anything like it. I looked over here, and I saw it coming directly at me. As it flew over me, I couldn't see anything, no sound whatsoever. I could see its silhouette, and of all I could see, it was just a wing, no fuselage, no vertical tail. I wouldn't say that it was from outer space, but it was an unidentified flying object. I had no idea what it was. But the unidentified object isn't his only concern with the strange things happening at the airport. He's seen the modest hangars there for years and wants to know what the huge building with the sign out front warning of snakes is doing there, aside from blocking the view of his favorite mountain. Right above that hangar out there, you notice there's a little mountain, Bishop said. I used to love the view of that mountain, but my mountain is gone. But KOB dug around and found a sign. Welcome, Google. Turns out Google bought Titan Aerospace in Moriarty back in April and will be building, researching, and testing drones at the airport. The big hangar, the lack of his favorite view, and the UFO, all Google. The Google operation is expected to create more than 200 new aviation and aerospace jobs. Okay. Moving from there, let's go to New York. A family from Williamson, New York was caught off guard by a blinding lights of a nearby UFO. The family was having a campfire when the UFO first appeared. The light from the object was exceptionally bright. I was having a campfire with my family in Williamson, New York. My brother-in-law first noticed an extremely bright white light through the trees 100 yards east of us. The light was blinding and we could not make out the shape. When we first noticed it, we thought it maybe was a helicopter searchlight, but there was no sound and the object moved in ways I have never seen. The object started from behind the trees and then moved out to a clearing before accelerating at great speed up in the air and out of view. It started northeast, and the tree line slowly moved south as it came out of the trees, then shot up, away, and west. We were dumbfounded and could not believe what we saw. We lost sight of the object after it climbed so much altitude it was no longer visible. Alright, this is from UFO Digest, John Kelly article, Exploring ET Contact in Unstable Universe, Journey to Inner Space. A short-linked video posted to YouTube explains the folly of ignoring interdimensional implications of ET contact in a cosmos of physicists from the Fermi National Accelerator Laboratory described as inherently unstable. Secret Message TV production of UFO, Journey to Inner Space, posits substantial evidence for psychic contact between humans and ET that anticipates physical events, stating how whenever we choose to go willingly or are compelled by pressure of circumstances, everyone will have to address the inner psychic dimensional nature of individual existence. The brief presentation features exclusive never-before-seen night vision from ESETI Ranch, in which UFOs interact with light pulses from the ground. The narrative explains how, even if we succeed in achieving the outermost reaches of the physical universe, people occupying that environment will continue to be called upon to answer the innermost questions of their existence. In answering that call, those people will be positioned to fulfill their true potential and discover what it really means to be human. John Lycan, a theoretical physicist with the Fermi National Accelerator Laboratory in Batavia, Illinois, told reporters in 2013 how the universe we live in is inherently unstable, and at some point billions of years from now, it's all going to get wiped out. Prior to a meeting with the American Association for the Advancements of Science in Boston, such limited temporal prospects would seem to prioritize the resolution of optimized human potential at a much earlier, rather later date on the cosmic calendar. And one more story. Notice of UFO contact by Commander T. Morris. And this comes to us from Teresa J. Morris. To interested parties on planet Earth, from those who were chosen to experience alien contact and UFOs regarding information based on humanoid contact, communication in English language, subject, space, travel facts we can agree upon. Time on or about Earth years 1980 through 1993. The reason is to share common facts. Due to my concern regarding world information on alien contact and UFOs, I chose to share these findings of fact. On or about the period of 26 December 1951 through the date of September 29, 2014, I have personally been in contact with people of humanoid likeness as sentient, intelligent beings. In what we call eras of time on this planet, I have been chosen to share what was once considered classified information on planet Earth to the critical mass mind of the general populace. Now is the time for us to understand that we are to advance our human race to the space race, or in what some universes is referred to as space wars. We'll use English as the business language in space for all humanoids of the planet we presently call home or Earth. We are the space generation for our humanoid, sentient, intelligent being kind as far as life forms existing on planets and galaxies in this universe, inside other larger expansions as universes, multiverses, metaverse, xenoverse, omniverse, alphaverse, and omegaverse, as we refer to the various 7 levels in space. We have shared this in cyberspace and on the internet in years past, only to have it taken down and removed by those whom we allow this to happen based on academics in science and of the unknowing. We have been chosen for contact, and the informed we are enhanced by visitation as birth, and our DNA is enhanced by those visiting us at a time of birth. We were told that we were known before we came here, which leads us to believe in reincarnation. We are told that we are here for a purpose to advance together as a total human race. We are told we advance over a period of time and eras, and that the planet has been given computer technology and weapons which allowed us to advance, only to destroy ourselves for various reasons of misuse. Now some information we are allowed to release is that we will be given certain elements as minerals not found on Earth contained in the building of spacecraft needed for space travel when the time comes that we are needed to fight this space war. As far as we travel in space, at this present time is known. As far as how far we travel in space, this at the present time is known due to UFO spacecraft that was left at the time that one UFO imploded on or near the week of the July 4th, 1947 in and around Roswell, Corona, White Sands area, New Mexico. Due to one person's choice of only 500 words, this transmission is ended. Okay? Very interesting. Interesting indeed. So there you have it. That is our UFO news for today. I'm going to jump away momentarily. I'll be right back.
Come into our circle, Great Spirit. Fill our souls with peace.
All right, let's get back to it. So I said I would get to something I mentioned a few moments ago. Look, it's 2014. There's a lot of people on the planet, 7 billion people. We're supposed to be smarter as a species. However, you and I are both seeing that that is not the case. We seem to be getting dumber and dumber by the decisions we're making, by the lies that we're believing. And yet all of this has been outlined for us in the books of prophecy, that there will be those who are trying to deceive you, that there will those who will be giving you, be prepared to understand about the deceit. Don't get caught up in the wars, in the rumors of wars. And yet all of these things people are getting caught up in. A moment ago I showed you a video, a UFO video, and I said, it's sometimes challenging to know what is real and what is not because of the technology that is out there. And so it's very easy. People will see a UFO video and say, fake, right off the bat. Yet on a daily basis, these same individuals will turn on the mainstream news and they'll see a video presentation and they will believe it hook, line, and sinker from a country that knows how to make, better than any place else, how to make fake movies. So are we that brain dead in this country that we can't understand that we have the technology to fake movies? So we stop looking at them? What's wrong with you, Americans? What is wrong with you? That's what I need to ask. How is it that you are fooled by the lies? How is it you are deceived so easily? So many of you out there, and I've talked to you over the years, so many of you have said over the years, oh, not during my time will I ever get fooled. Guess what? You're being fooled. Over and over and over again, you're being fooled because when you believe the lies that the mainstream tells you, you're getting fooled. Case in point, missing planes. Mainstream media lies about it for weeks. They don't know where it is. Then they admit it. And then they come back weeks later and talk about another missing plane with the same script. And guess what? People believe it just like they did the first time. 9/11, we know by now that what happened does not match the official story, that it was a lie. Yet people continue to believe it. The beheadings that are going on, sad state of affairs, but we're being shown from intelligence reports that these beheadings are not really happening. They're staged. There is no report that talks about this person being beheaded. Go look up in Oklahoma. Go read the original reports. There's nothing there that talks about a beheading. A beheading wasn't part of their initial report from all of the media in the area. It was only when mainstream media get in that it suddenly becomes a beheading to scare you, to scare the people. Well, we got to stop this. And I know, don't talk about such things because Americans, they get too fragile. Too bad. Get tough, Americans. Pull up your big boy and big girl britches and quit being afraid and quit being lied to. This Ebola, what's the real situation with Ebola? There's some that say it doesn't have the consequences that we're being told. We see that the United States government is involved with a patent for the Ebola virus. Wake up, America. Wake up. Just like there's an ISIS organization that's an intelligence organization outside Fort Huachuca and one in Washington, D.C., and then we're still listening to the mainstream spout their lies about what ISIS is, never once bringing that up. Again, wake up, Americans. It's kind of disappointing on a daily basis to go out there and see how many unfortunate, misinformed Americans there are. From a country that claims that they are the best. No, we're the best at being misinformed right now. I love this country. I love the people of this country. But I really do not like seeing what's happening. I do not like seeing the stupidity that's out there. And I'm pretty certain that you don't either. So what are we going to do about this? How do we get past this level of stupidity that we're in? What is it going to take? Unfortunately, in this country and around the world, the only things that seem to snap us out of our apathy is disaster. And that's sad. So is that where we're heading? We're heading to a disaster? We're heading there because we don't know how to use our God-given gift to tell the difference between a truth and a lie? I don't know. But I'm tired of being frustrated by it. I'm sure you are too. I'm tired of walking through life on a daily basis and seeing people so caught up in the illusion. There's nothing more that hurts than to watch a friend being lied to over and over and over again. So, I don't know. I bring this up because it is a point of frustration, and I want to know when the American people are going to wake up. We got a man in the office, by all of the evidence that has been collected and researched, is not an American citizen, that does not have the ideals of an American citizen, and that simply has the ideals of a Muslim who wants to betray his country. And what he has done over the course of this time is exactly what those who have pointed out have said he would do. And yet Americans are still saying, I don't know. The birther question, I don't know if we want to bring that up. We need to bring it up, folks. We are being run over. America is being terrorized and run over and destroyed. And while it's happening, guess what? Americans aren't doing anything. They're sitting on their butts, watching television, eating bonbons, not caring about what's going on. Well, I care, and I know there are others out there that care as well. Perhaps something will happen to get other people to care as well, to pull their heads out of their disinformation, sources and really find out. I complain when I hear people watching Fox News and they tell me, they say, oh, you've been complaining about this for 5 years every time you come around here. You know what also has happened in 5 years? Never once have they gone and they've looked up any of the information to see all the lies and do the research. And that seems how it is. People don't want to know. People are so invested in their own lives and so selfish about what they're doing that they forget about we're living in a world. What are we going to do? Are we just going to play this out until we kill each other off? Is that what this is about? Or aren't we smarter than that? I know we're smarter than that. The White House. We had a woman who we're told, rammed the gate at the White House, and they shot this woman to death outside the White House in her car while her baby was in the back seat. Shot her. Yet, we have 2 stories now in the last week of 2 people who not only got outside the White House, but inside the yard and inside the White House, armed. Nobody was shot then. So what's the difference? Why did they shoot this woman? Something more going on to that story, isn't there? We need to start asking questions, folks. We need to have more critical thinking, because if we don't, we're going to be dumbed down more and more than we already are. Americans have to stop listening to the lies of Fox and MSNBC and CNN and all the other agencies that are out there connected with the intelligence agencies of this country. And if you can't figure out that there's something wrong when the intelligence agency, the CIA, is connected with the media outlet, if you can't put 2 and 2 together, I feel really sorry for you that you don't have that kind of intelligence. I hope that you figure it out, but I'm tired of feeling sorry for people out there that are stupid. If you're stupid, that's your own fault, because the information is available so you don't have to be in this day and age. Going to move on. Let's talk about Atlantis, another group of people who at the end of time, at the end of their days, were stupid. And what happened? We know what happened. They sank. So now we have remnants. We have stories left about Atlantis. What was it about? Is it real? What did they learn? What did they do? Here's an article that says, does the Bimini Road lead to the lost civilization of Atlantis? Off the coast of Bimini lies an ancient stone formation submerged beneath crystal blue waters. The mysterious path makes one wonder if it's remnants of the mythical lost land of Atlantis. Researchers, geologists, archaeologists, and scientists alike have visited and studied the huge flat stones off the coast of Bimini known as the Bimini Road. They have tried for years to discern whether the limestone blocks are a natural phenomena or evidence of ancient lost civilization. Bimini is an island in the Bahamas, part of a chain of islands 50 miles east of Miami, Florida. A mere 20 feet down in the blue waters off the coast, a stone path can be found. Large, flat rocks cut at right angles, seemingly set purposefully in straight lines. This impressive formation stretches half a mile long with a pronounced hook at one end. The stones can measure up to 13 feet or 4 meters across. According to Unsolved Mysteries, the origin and the meaning of the Bimini are unknown. However, the name appears in the ancient Egyptian language, and Bimini, which means homage, ini, to the soul, Ba, of Min. Min was the Egyptians' divine protector of travelers in far-off journeys, a particularly appropriate god to be worshipped at distant Bimini, if indeed the island has been visited by villagers from the Nile Valley. In 1968, subsea archaeologist Jason Mason Valentine and his diving party encountered the paved road now called the Bimini Road or the Bimini Wall. After their initial discovery, the site was visited often by innumerable divers, researchers, and scientists, further revealing the existence of 2 additional linear features lying nearly parallel to the enigmatic path. Unexplained Mysteries writes of the connection between the discovery and the American mysticist Edward Casey, who said to predict future events, traces another curious element of the mystery is a prediction made in 1938 by Edgar Casey. A portion of the temples may yet be discovered under the slime of ages and sea water near Bimini. Expect in 68 or 69, not so far away. The Bimini Road was located in 1968. Some proposed as a fulfillment of the prediction that the history of Atlantis would be revealed to the world. Okay, there's more to this article. I'm going to leave this to you, so you can check it out. All right, but very interesting. 68, Edgar Casey. Okay, we're on to something here. Now we have Echoes of Plato's Atlantis, BBC. Introduction, quite why a story written 25 years ago by the Greek philosopher Plato continues to capture the public imagination is a mystery in itself. A mystery fed by the countless books, films, articles, web pages, and now a Disney cartoon. It has spawned a rich populist subculture, much of it internet-based, which pits the passions and the imaginations of committed Atlanteans against the orthodox analysis of scientific mainstream. Part of the contemporary appeal of the Atlantis story has no doubt has been fed by scientists. Historians, archaeologists, and geologists have also entered the debate to contest the various literary, historical, and geographical elements of the story. Currently, following Bernard Zangar's new book presenting the archaeological case for Troy as the true inspiration for Atlantis, we have the BBC Horizon documentary Helike, The Real Atlantis, staking the claim for the classical Greek city of Helike. Atlantis, it seems, remains very bankable media product. All right, so this article is here. I'm going to say, take this with a grain of salt when you read it. Why? Because it comes to us from the BBC. The BBC is one of these networks that is involved with the rewriting of history, like some of the other networks here in the United States. Doesn't mean that they don't tell you the truth. It means that there might be information woven into here that might be a bit uncertain. So we need to really look and see. Again, we don't want to be fooled, and we need to be aware of the organizations that are out there that are making efforts to fool you. The BBC is one of those. Here we have Atlantis Quest, and it's a search for raising money for the purpose of an expedition. An expedition to the lost city of Atlantis, discovery that might rewrite our history. Expedition will be carried out by archaeologists, geologists, marine biologists, historians, technicians, crew, logistics crew, media crew, doctor. Those will be involved with online streaming, filming, social media. All right, so I made this available so you can check it out. And if it seems to be something that you might be interested in, there it is. And the last piece is a documentary. It's a documentary. It's called The Lost City of Atlantis. It's 45 minutes, 46 minutes long, and it's here for you to check out. All right, so there you go. That is Atlantis. And I think it's very important that we remember our past. You know, you've heard the saying, those who don't remember their past are doomed to repeat it. Well, we seem to be in that situation. What's even worse is we seem to have this attention span which doesn't even allow us to remember back to the times of Hitler. Look how many people are forgetting that. I mean, in the last 100 years, we have people that can't even tell you when the United States Constitution was signed or the Declaration of Independence. So how are we expected, if we can't even get simple historical information about our society now, how are we supposed to remember something that happened 10,000, 11,000 years ago? You see, lack of intelligence is a problem. Dumbing down of society is a problem. And if we continue to allow ourselves to be dumbed down, where's it going to lead us? You know, history is an interesting thing. We have recorded history that goes back 5,000 years, 6,000 years, but we've been around a lot longer than that. Where's all the history from there? Who has all of that history? It exists somewhere, because the world wasn't destroyed and wasn't reborn 6,000 years ago, so it continued to exist. You see, there are those who are in the powers that be that don't want you to know about the real history because it would take the power away from them. As long as you believe that the world is only 5,000 years old and we only have 5,000 years of history, you're going to act and behave a certain way. Most of society, the powers that be, they don't want you to know about an Atlantis. Because Atlantis was a civilization where people were much more advanced technologically, but they were using the technology of the mind. It wasn't all about technological equipment. There was a different understanding about life. We're not there yet. There are some who are really working to raise their vibrations, but as a whole, we're not there. We're at that civilization that was fooled. That's what we are. Because at the end of the time of Atlantis, people were fooled. They were fooled into believing all the genetic engineering was good, fooled into believing that all the experiments that were taking place in the environment were good. They were fooled. They didn't want to believe the truth. And now we're always talking about Atlantis as the legend on the bottom of the ocean, of the city on the bottom of the ocean. Because they were fooled. Because they were fooled. We don't want to be fooled. I'm not going to be fooled. And I'm pretty certain if you're listening to the show, you're not going to be fooled either because you're paying attention and you're researching the things. But you and I, we both know a lot of people that are being fooled and will continue to be so. And that's tough to watch sometimes. It's very tough to watch, but people make their own decisions. And Sometimes you just have to honor the decisions that they make and trust that that is part of their soul's growth. All right, let's move on to article at In5D. This one is from Greg Prescott. Talks about time. Bizarre time anomaly is sweeping the planet. Have you noticed a strange anomaly in how time is perceived recently? According to numerous testimonies, bizarre time phenomena is sweeping the planet. Lately, my perception has been way off. The other evening around 9 p.m., it felt like it was much later, as though it was after midnight. That night, I went to bed around 10:30 p.m. and woke up around midnight feeling like I had slept all night. One of the things I've noticed lately is that my dreams have been more along the lines of parallel universes, alternate realities. I've always believed that as such a new person awakes, the timeline changes, hence an alternate reality becomes our current reality. Perhaps this perception is related to this. I was curious if I had anything to do with the new moon in Libra. If this had anything to do with the new moon in Libra, or if it had something to do with new energies coming to our planet. So I posted the above comments in the In5D page. My perception has been way off today. This is the one that I had just written. Anybody else feeling this is what he's asking. And then here we have all kind of comments from people talking about what they've been experiencing. Okay? And I will also confirm, Greg, that I too have been feeling much different. The days are weird. I even told my friends the other day, I said, doesn't it feel weird today? Just something feels strange. I can't put my finger on it. There's something feels strange and weird. Dan Walper provided a very interesting perspective of time, stating there is actually only 16 hours a day now, but we don't notice because we have also sped up with time. The universe we are in is not sitting still, it is spiraling through the galaxy. We are never in the same place twice, and right now we are speeding up, but we have no idea of the change in speed because we are part of it. Just like when you drive a car, you go faster and the body goes faster with it, but you don't feel it because you are in the car. Upon researching the tomb of the Mayan leader Pakal Votan, the late Jose Arguelles stated that the most important lesson he learned was that we are either live without time or to develop a calendar that is more in synchronicity with nature, such as the 13-month lunar calendar, where each month has one full moon, has the same number of days, starts on the same day, and ends on the same day. If parallel universes and alternate realities can be changed by the awakening of the masses, then as each person awakens, our reality changes. This can be the explanation of what is happening. Perhaps there are new energies that are infusing the planet. Maybe Terence McKenna's belief that time is spiraling towards the singularity is coming to fruition. At this point in time, there is no definitive answer. So what do you think is happening? Have you noticed these new energies and how they have affected you? Right, if you want to comment on the article, links available. So what about you? Have you noticed anything different with time? I have. The days just seem... There's something different. For a while, I seem like it seems like the sun is whiter as opposed to the yellow color. There's something, I can't put my finger on it, but just something about the day, the days just feel different. And time is, I went to bed last night, I think at 8 o'clock. And that's not normal for me. And yet, it just seemed like it was later than it was. And I went to bed, it seemed like it was about midnight. Felt like it was about midnight. So if you're feeling something out there, let me know. Send me an email, firstcontactradio@yahoo.com, or post a comment up at the YouTube page, or, one of the places where you can reach us. All right, here is a message, from Archangel Metatron and Archangel Michael. And what's cool about these messages, they always seem to really tie into what we're experiencing. They help to explain it a little bit better. And they have a similar message, usually. Don't be deceived. Pay attention to all the power that we have available to us, which is our own inner strength. Anyway, let me get on with this here. Here we go.
Message from Archangel Metatron and Archangel Michael.
Channeled by Sandy McGonigal, September 30th through October 18th, 2014.
Archangel Metatron.
As humanity is ever becoming more aware of how nature is constantly trying to clean up its resources, more flooding will become rampant. Start to look at areas that have had a long period of no flooding in recent history and compare historical data referring to the last huge flood for the area and prepare. Move things in your homes to higher places in your homes, like to the upper stories versus basements. Create a plan to keep a pile of sand and empty bags ready to fill if your area has ever had a widespread flood. In earthquake areas, begin to secure things like shelving and statues, things that can vibrate and fall forward into the floors of your homes. Have a way to purify water if for some reason you find yourself cut off from the city water supply. Have sleeping bags ready to grab in case you need to leave or sleep in your vehicle. These suggestions are just extra precautions for the times ahead, depending on what area of the country you live in. On a spiritual note, the earth grids are vibrating on a very high frequency now, and you may find yourself feeling like you are super hot or super cold, in other words, wide swings of body fluctuations. This is the new norm as everything is receiving new shifts in DNA and RNA in their structures. Archangel Metatron.
Message from Archangel Michael.
As one of the protection angels, call me in when your energies feel frantic or you are experiencing anxiety of any kind. The moment you request my help, I am next to you or stand behind you. Request me to remove any cords of others that you are feeling, and with my sword of light I will free you from this emotional strangulation. Walking barefoot on the ground can also help. Even in the cooler months ahead, a short brief couple of footsteps will immediately give you relief, enough to recover your thoughts to nature where anxiety can be put into perspective. The plant kingdom is also a key to increased vitality. Start to really listen to your body when you are shopping for food. Does your body really feel attracted to a can of food full of chemicals? Or rather, is it being drawn to a fresh piece of fruit or a fresh vegetable or other foods that come from animals raised without hormones and chemically treated feed? As you become more in touch with your physical body's desires, your mental body will be able to stay more focused during the day and night. Try making a list of foods you are immediately drawn to and see if they are a particular color, say red or red-orange, indicating an area of your body corresponding to your root and second chakra. This goes for food for the upper chakras as well. The blue and purple colored foods can enhance and nourish these. Take time to go outside and breathe, just breathe, and thank yourself for this break from recycled air. In other words, make choices that enhance your earth experience, that support your physical journey here on earth now. Archangel Michael.
Alright, good message. And that brings us to our meditation. So close your eyes. Take a deep breath. And exhale. Take another deep breath. And exhale again. 2 more breaths. Another deep breath. And exhale. And the next one, breathe in and hold it. Hold it. And exhale. And as you breathe, feel your body relax with each breath. Continue to breathe in and out. And feel your body relax. And as it relaxes, you find that all of the tensions that kept you away from understanding what was going on in the world are relaxed, and your body is more open to receiving. And as you are more open to receiving, you begin to see the wisdom of the universe, to receive the wisdom. And as you receive the wisdom of the universe, your eyes open and you look around. You look around with eyes that are able to see the difference between the truth and the lies. You have eyes that are able to see the difference between war and peace, between love and hate, between doubt and faith. And as you continue to move through life with your eyes open, seeing the difference in the things that are not good for us versus the things that are, we make choices. We make choices to help ourselves by making choices to help ourselves. And so as we go through life making better choices, we're able to assist others because the choices we've made have allowed us to see truthfully what is really going on and how to move through this reality. We recall the words of Jesus that tell us not to get caught up in the rumors of wars or the deceits or the doubts or the fears. And so we stand strong in that understanding. And we remind ourselves as we go through life to continuously pay attention and keep our eyes open so we are not caught up in the illusion. And as we move through life today, we just send out positive vibes and imagine as they go out into the world, they help to open up the eyes of those who feel these energies. So just imagine your subconscious mind going out into the world, throwing out positive vibes, opening up many eyes. Let your subconscious mind do that while our conscious mind comes back to the present moment. On the count of three, coming back to the present moment filled with confidence. Take a moment to contemplate our affirmation today. I am taking action now. I am taking action now. Let that thought reverberate through your mind. And 2, coming back to the present moment, filled with this confidence. And 1, coming back to the present moment, happy, healthy, and whole. Take another deep breath. Exhale and open your eyes. That's it, my friends. That's our show for today. Thank you for being here. Just keep your eyes open out there. Find a way just to keep sending out positive vibes no matter what goes on. If we can keep doing that, we can make a difference in the world. And eventually all those whose eyes are closed, that are moving through life with the doubts and the fears, eventually they too will change. Let's just keep thinking positive. We can make it happen. I love you. Keep loving each other. And I'll talk to you tomorrow. Peace. I'm out of here.